Hey everyone, welcome to Pastel Basics. I'm going to show you a few things. I'm going to show you blending, overlapping colors, and also adding a little bit of scratching and texture with pastels. A couple of rules before you start pastels. Try to keep them on the tables. They're soft, they're fragile. If you step on them, they do not exist anymore. You can't use them. It gets all over your shoe, it gets everywhere. It's not very fun. Also, try to keep as much paper on as you can. You can still use them when they don't have the paper on, but they tend to break a little bit more. The paper helps to protect them from breaking in half. Um, so with that, we'll start. The first part is going to be just coloring with them. So the first part to coloring with pastels, pastels can look okay if you color lightly, and you can use this for some applications. But I don't think it looks any different than, say, a crayon or a colored pencil would. Where pastels are really different and cool to work with is when you press a little bit harder with them, they start to become very smooth. It might be a little tricky for you to stay inside of your lines. It's one of those where you have to get close. Just try to get close to the line. I like to put it down and then see where the line goes. Do my best to kind of follow where that line is going to be. Once you've gotten coloring down, then you can start to mix colors into each other. So if I mix this yellow into that orange, I can get a lighter yellow-orange. Say I have a brown for the middle. Might want to add some yellow to lighten it up. That yellow goes towards the middle. As you're mixing, some people will use their fingers. So if I add that white on there, I can use my finger, and my finger can help to blend that color in so it becomes one. So it becomes an easy way to try to make little subtle color changes. If I want that to lighten up in there, that's pretty good. If I think, oh, that's way too light, I can rub it in and it'll blend it together a little bit more nicely. You may notice that there are some little pastel pieces that build up. Try not to brush them off. If you brush them off with your hand, it likes to streak. I just tap my paper down like I just did. Clears them off. Next thing, I'll do this on a leaf. I'm bringing in pretty close to that leaf. So using green to start. So we've done blending with just the pastels. We've done finger blending. I'll use all of that here. So I have some yellow that's going to go over the top. I think I'll do a little bit of blue in there too. Then I can use my finger, blend it, get something that looks nice and smooth. Those blues start to streak and look pretty cool. Going to use my finger and try to blend the browns in by those veins. If I don't feel it's bright enough, I can go back in and add some of that yellow. It's all up to you how you do it. The last part I'm going to show you with this one is scratching. If you have layers built up, You can scratch out pieces to add some detail or texture. Maybe these are the main veins, and then can start to use this to go back and add more texture to the leaf. Can use it to lighten stuff up, or just add interesting lines into my drawing. Sometimes I do blow on the pastels to get it to go away. If you're doing that at a table with a lot of people, just make sure that you're careful not to be blowing on other people. It's kind of weird. I think a little bit of an outline might be nice on this one. Purple. So there you go. We worked on some blending, some scratching. Those are the Pastel Basics. So use them for whatever works on your project. Thanks. Later. At some point, you might want to address the edges of your pastels. You can use the pen and ink. It works okay, and it's one of the few that'll cover over top. But if you use colored pencils, they'll scratch away the pastel that's not needed, and they'll give you a nice clean line around everything. I prefer to use colored pencils all around the edges, or if I need to add texture back into my pastels. We've talked about the scratching before too. This would basically be a color version of scratching. So anything that I scratched to add a texture to just kind of scratches out pastel and adds color to it. There you go.